Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to look at 5 tips to radically improve your selling. Number 1, we're going to look at expectations. So expectations are a funny old thing. When should they come up? Why should they come up? Where should they come up? The answer is very simple and it's twofold. 1, expectations should be prospect-led. They should not be led by the salesperson. Who cares about the salesperson? Everything is about the prospect. And second is they should come first. So the best first question you can ask on a discovery call is, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, what would you like to happen by the end of this call? That's the easiest way to get expectations. Try it, you might just be surprised by the results. Deal with problems and pain, not features and advantages. Oftentimes people don't even know the name of a product or service that we book a meeting for. And why is that? Well, I've never slammed my hand on the desk and said, I need a CRM, or, oh, I just wish we had PPC or SEO. That's not how buying works. What we're looking for is problems and symptoms of problems and selling to those. And how do we do that? Well, rather than pitching what we do, we pitch problems that exist in the prospect's world that might be signs of us being able to help or assist. So I'm typically invited in by people who struggle with A, B or C. When we get that problem, we then work our way through a pain funnel. Put simply, that should look like problem. Have you got a problem I solve? 2, example, can you give me clear examples of that problem in your world? 3, what is the impact of said problem? So how does it impact you and or the business? 4, what is the root cause of the problem? Why does the problem exist in the first place? What have you done to fix it? And then lastly, what is the realistic desired future with the problem solved? Notice I said realistic. Number 3, make sure you're speaking like a human being. We talk about something we have a meeting called the pub test. Do the questions you ask and the words you say pass the pub test? Could you say to someone in a pub, a bar, a first date, without them looking at you funny and saying, why are you talking to me like that? An example of that is, you probably wouldn't say, what's the impact on you in real life? It's not a question that would come up. It's a bit salesy. But you might say, okay, how do you know that's a problem? You get the same outcome with a much more human question. So what you're saying, your pitch, your process, the questions you ask, does it pass the pub test? That's number 3. Using active listening and tactical empathy. So when someone sounds frustrated, annoyed, excited, the best thing we can do, because we're all children at heart, is let the other person know that we see them, and we see them at their emotional base and we understand what they're experiencing. And the simplest way to do that is just to mirror and label the emotion that we're hearing. Okay, so it sounds like this has been quite frustrating. This feels like quite a vulnerable spot to be in. Taking that straight out of the Chris Voss Never Split the Difference playbook. And the reason that we do that is people feel much more comfortable when they're seen, rather than when they're being bombarded with all the features that might be able to save them. So that's number 4. And number 5, make it very clear that your working relationship needs to be a win-win. Oftentimes what people are trying to do is sell the idea of perfect, and it goes back to the expectation meets reality conundrum. So that's the happiness equation. So the happiness equation, your happiness is based on your expectations meeting reality. So as salespeople, if we've sold someone at perfect and the product or service is great, what they're left with is, I was expecting more. So manage expectations. That's 5 tips that might radically improve your selling. Let me know what you think.